Happy Saturday and welcome to an exciting episode of Smell the Coffee with Diana Master and Glenora Shapura. All you have to do is grab your cup of joe, sit back and relax while we bring you the latest in entertainment and bizarre news and a whole lot more. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you, babe?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
I'm doing well. It's Saturday.
What are your plans for later in the day?
Most probably sleep. Most probably, my weekends are so sacred. They're a time for me to rest and
So you're
relax.
not going to be in the streets?
Yeah, I'll be in the streets for my birthday. So for now, I can just relax. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So fine. We are prepping ourselves. We're prepping the body for your birthday. All
Yes.
of us. We should not be going out till your birthday.
Until my birthday, because y'all already know that the birth week is upon us.
Well, getting into Smell the Coffee, and Yolanda Nels talks to Professor Sarah Markov of the African Millimeter Telescope Project about her recent visit to Namibia. Let's take a look after the break.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
What was it like in Namibia? How did you enjoy it? And what was the purpose of your visit?
Okay, well, maybe I can start a bit with talking about the reason that I was visiting.
Yes.
So I am part of a project which is to build a new telescope in Namibia, which is called the Africa Millimeter Telescope. And this was my first visit to Namibia, actually ever, in order to start to get to know all the various partners involved, from the local team to the various government officials and university officials that were involved. So it was quite a busy trip. It was very compact. I only had a few days because I had to sort of squeeze it into another trip. I was visiting South Africa, but it was extremely exciting and dynamic. I got to see a little bit of nature, and it was my first time seeing certain animals outside of a zoo.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of but also, I got to meet a lot of students. The team that we're going to be working with got to see one of the potential sites where we're thinking about putting the telescope, and then meeting with various stakeholders to try to build the relationships, that I'll be having over the coming decade, I guess.
Yeah. And you also gave a lecture at UNAM. Can you explain to us why it's important for Namibian students to go into the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics?
Well, yeah, I would say it's not just important for Namibians, right? This is important, I think, worldwide.
Globally, yes.
Really, science is just how we understand the world around us, and it's very important for young people to learn how it works. Science is, also telling us a lot about skills besides, the universe and chemistry and food science and all of that. I think it's really important because it teaches young people how to think critically about things. And at this time, I think we all know there's quite a lot of disinformation out there in terms of the things we hear on the internet and maybe politics and so on. And there's a way of learning how to think where you can distinguish between fact and fiction that science is very good at. So that's one reason I would say it's just important, but it's also very important for the economy. If you look at where a lot of the money is really coming from in strong economies these days, it's coming from science and technology. And so, to have a healthy economy means you have to have young people who are trained in these fields, who are able to jump in, to know how to do things like coding computers and data science and machine learning and artificial intelligence. And we we often joke that science is the gateway drug to all this kind of knowledge, because we teach people a lot of these important skills, and they don't necessarily, in fact, the majority do not stay in science, at least, in Europe and the United States. The majority go into industry and into business, and they grow the economy. And then some of them stay with us and study the universe. But so that means that it's very, very important to grow that pool of young people who have the skills to, you know, strengthen the economy. And that's, you know, so there's two sides of the picture for me anyway.
So I met the team of the AMT project by coincidence. I literally had nothing to do one Thursday afternoon, and I decided to go to the lecture hall where they were launching the new photo of the black hole. And then I literally met everyone there, and I've been working closely with Dr. Mark Kleinwald and Michael Bacchus and then Mr. Lotfrans. And I'm so glad I get to meet someone that is also a woman name, because I think it's also so important to get women into this industry.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because I think it's getting much better. It depends, you know, where you are in the US and in our field. I mean, at the student level, it's about 50-50, at least in our institute. And what I was really impressed by in Namibia was of the students, the master's students that are in the team at University of Namibia and joining, it's at least 50% women, if not more. So it seems like this is a very attractive career as well. And I think that's a really great thing to see. And it bodes well for the future of Namibia.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifra. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Can you quickly tell us what is your involvement with the AMT project?
Yeah, so I'm a professor of astrophysics at the University of Amsterdam, and I'm also someone who has studied black holes as kind of my specialty for many years. And I'm a member of what's called the Event Horizon Telescope. So that's the project you just alluded to, which is a project to take telescopes that are sitting all over the planet and basically string them together to create effectively an Earth-sized telescope, which we then use to try to make the first pictures of actual black holes, which I know sounds weird because black holes are not supposed to give off light, but we're looking at light that's coming just in a ring kind of outside the black hole. And so we've already done that. As you said, we've managed to do this for two extremely large black holes, one of which is in our own galaxy in the center. And if we want to go further, we need to improve the telescope. And the way that we do that is we add additional elements to the telescope, dishes, and we need to strategically place them around the planet. So when you look at the map of where the existing facilities are, there was a big gap in Africa. It's an obvious place to fill the array, and you have the right weather conditions, particularly in Namibia. So a group of us decided to propose to governments, because that's where we get our money, to basically try to get funding to build this telescope in Namibia. And we were successful last year, so I'm part of that team as well. So you can think of the AMT, or the Africa Millimeter Telescope, as a individual telescope that will be operating in Namibia and doing science. But sometimes we will be joining forces with the Event Horizon Telescope, which I'm also part of, and we will be working with them to do some of these really difficult types of science questions.
So the viewers out there knows that we have the Hess site here at the Gamsberg Mountains in Namibia. How will these two telescopes complement one another?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I did get to see the Hess site for the first time. So basically most astrophysical objects, most things out in space, are actually giving off light at many more frequencies than what our eyes can see. So our eyes are tuned to really see a very narrow range of what we call the electromagnetic spectrum. And that goes from all the way at the low end to what we call radio waves, which I know sounds strange because we think of listening to the radio waves, but we actually see them as well. And that's what the Event Horizon Telescope is looking at. And then all the way at the highest end, you have what are called gamma rays. And so black holes, for instance, when there's stuff around them and giving off light, they're giving off light across that entire range. And so if you really want to understand the physics of what's going on in the most extreme conditions that you can find in the universe, which is for us very interesting, then you need to collect light from all of these different frequencies across this range. And so we combine telescopes basically. And for instance, during the Event Horizon Telescope campaigns, we also use telescopes like HESS. So HESS has participated every year with us when we look at black holes. And I can't tell you because it's still secret, but later this year, there will be a very nice result, which came exactly because of the combination of HESS and looking at one of those black holes with EHT.
Please keep me in mind when you are allowed to share that information.
Yes, we're excited about it. And hopefully this fall or maybe winter, we should be able to, the paper is being written and then we put out a press release. Yes.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Moving right along, Milnayo Shirode from Namibia Correctional Services speaks at the handover of a donation from FNB to Women at Work for a new social project aiming to train parolees for future jobs in the dressmaking industry. Katerina Mosser was there.
For the Namibian Correctional Service to be represented here today on this such a momentous and important occasion, which is the official opening of the New Beginnings program. When the Namibian Correctional Service was approached by the Women at Work Training Center to refer individuals who were released into the community, including those released on parole and remission to the program, we were pleased to know. Thank you, sir. We were pleased to know that the consequential work of offering community-based vocational training interventions to individuals who are released from correctional facilities, which was previously carried out by organizations such as Change, is able to continue through the commitment of the Women at Work Training Center. We are also exceptionally encouraged to see Pastor van der Kolk from the Prison Fellowship Namibia here today. We believe that such cooperation between civil society organizations is key towards leveraging synergies in order to aid individuals such as ex-offenders to ensure their transformative support and care. Ladies and gentlemen, the Namibian Correctional Service is mindful of the fact that initiatives such as this is very important and would not exist were it not for the generous funding offered by First Rand Group Namibia. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, please allow me to specifically address those at the center of the reason why we are all here today, and that is our New Beginnings program participants, many of whom I was so happy to see some familiar faces amongst the participants that I've worked with throughout my time at corrections. And one of the key lessons learned through correctional work is that people who return back to their families and communities after release face many challenges. These challenges are familiar to many of you here today. These are the realities that many of you faced. There is often a lack of understanding, for instance, by loved ones of the difficulty in adjusting to being back to normal life. including getting back to being a mother or father to your children, who you haven't seen for months or even years, but you face this reality with courage and strength. We also know that in order to adjust to new circumstances in life, which many Namibians have to do on a daily basis, whether we have lost employment or are struggling to make ends meet, that in order to positively adjust in an ever-changing world, there is a need for us to get or attain what we've never gotten before. The new skills that you will learn during the training is what you never had. My hope for all training participants is that you fully commit to making the most of this opportunity, to invest in your ability to give yourself a business idea that you have never had before or a new employment opportunity. Finally, the Namibian Correctional Service commends Women at Work for this great initiative, which we believe is key to helping offenders to adjust to their lives after being released and giving them the opportunity to access what they have never had before, which for many is a means to make a livelihood which they can use to take care of themselves and to care for their loved ones. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rec Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraifa. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Now, because of Diana Master, I've become an avid supporter of the Rugby World Cup. I don't want to ever miss a match. Now, let's see what Ari Hohad has in store in France.
Lekker om saam te gesels hier uit Marseille uit. Steeds Wêreldbeker 2023 en agter my is die Chamber of Commerce. Dit is een van die groot indrukwekkende geboue in Marseille. Dit is nodig dat daar 'n groot gebou moet wees want hier is baie mense. Hier is 1.6 miljoen mense net in die Marseille in hierdie metropool. Tweede grootste stad in Parys of in Frankryk naas Parys. En die grootste stad op die Mediterrane kuslyn, dit is Marseille. So as baie besigheid wat hier plaasvind, hierdie commerce nodig is 'n groot gebou, baie verdiepings, indrukwekkend daar aan die binnekant. Maar kom ons gaan nou kyk wat gebeur hierso in al die restaurantjies of by die restaurantjies. Soos ons hier rondstap raak ons ook maar honger, maar oor dit op die Mediterrane kuslyn is, soek jy ietsie van die area. Hier's een plekkie met die naam van Eggplant en hulle het die lekkerste Mediterrane kos. Kom ons gaan ontmoet die mense gou vinnig. It is a beautiful place. It's busy. You have brilliant food.
Yes, it's really good food. It's a restaurant with different elements, Mediterranean. You choose different. You have between 6-8 elements by plate.
Yes.
And that's it.
It's brilliant. And it's the Mediterranean food. Just explain maybe some of the food. What you have on the right here, I can see you have...
you have watermelon, you have carrots with pomegranates, you have zucchini with feta cheese, hazelnuts, mint, Korean chicken. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, too.
Yes.
Different hummus, hummus lemon, hummus beets. Tomato with basilic and mozzarella. And falafel. Baba ganoush. Yeah.
Excellent. And all the nice combinations. So the nice thing is you can pick the 6 ones that you like and you make your own combination.
Yeah. Feta cheese. Yes. And nuts. Okay. Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. Nice.
Yes.
Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes. Okay. Baba ganoush.
Baba ganoush.
Okay. With hummus.
Hummus. It says hummus. Hummus is very well known for Greek, yes.
Hummus lemon. And hummus
Beetroot.
The hummus
Beetroot.
petra.
Yes.
The beetroot. Okay, so it's hummus with beetroot.
You prefer vegetarian food or with meat?
A little bit meat and yeah.
Alors, a kefta.
It's like a mince ball, like a frikadelle.
Yeah. And this one is a falafel. Falafel.
Is it with fish?
No, no fish.
No
Falafel
fish.
is a chickpea.
A chickpea. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Carrot.
Oh, that is nice. Nice. That is a carrot.
Yes.
And
it's carrot with pomegranate.
carrot with
Is with a syrup
and the
pomegranate.
syrup. And a little bit of the maybe the watermelon.
Voilà.
That is the best
You love?
Mediterranean dish that we can ever have.
E-ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nhcom.na.
So what are you getting up to this weekend?
I think, just like you said earlier, I might be indoors.
Yeah,
maybe
you're
read up.
fluid.
Yes, because I'm fluid. Maybe read a nice, good book. I think people have stopped that culture of
Oh my
staying
goodness.
indoors just because you got a new book to read. So yes,
I just got so excited because like sitting there reading a book with a cup of coffee. Oh my goodness, it is so amazing. I think
you get what I mean.
That's what I'm gonna do for the weekend. But if you're not homebodies like us, here is the weekend gig guide, so you can take a look at how you can entertain yourself this weekend.
It's the middle of September and spring has sprung. On Friday at 6, A Thin Line, an exhibition by Namibian South African-based artist Lizette Forsyth, opens at the Project Room and can be viewed until 7 October. At 6:30, Roots Gymnasium hosts the Kuierfees at Stampriet with entertainment by Wayne Blow. And at the same time, in support of breast cancer awareness, SA's Cordelia performs at the Crocodile Farm in Otjiwarongo. On Saturday at 8, the 061 High School Bash brings together more than 40 Windhoek high schools under the theme of Shining Light on the Namibian Child's Talent at the Sam Nujoma Stadium until 7 p.m. At 9, there's a mimosa breakfast with Marcel Hopkins, who's the presenter of Bravoer in Boershoeke Vrou at Droombosch Country Estate. At 10, the Namibian Arts Association hosts an artisan market until 4. At 6, SA's Cordelia performs at the Kupferquelle Resort in Tsumeb, also in support of the Cancer Association. And at the same time, the Jazz Songbook is presented by Gareth Harvey and Jessica Stradom at Gurrenfang in Walvis Bay. On Sunday at 3 p.m, Drag Night Namibia presents Unplugged at Anna's Kloofenberg shop in Windhoek. The dress code is vintage. If you haven't seen it yet, Summertime, an exhibition by the Umba Arts Trust, can be viewed at the National Art Gallery until September 23rd. So too Bowled Over, a group exhibition of handcrafted pottery at the Bell House Gallery in Windhoek. Enjoy!
Well, we do hope you enjoyed our little show today. We are so grateful that you could be here with us, and we do hope you have yourselves a lovely weekend while Glenora and I sit at home drinking our cup of tea with
read
like
a good
nice
book.
good book. You know, immerse yourself in this world. That's what I love about books. You're in a whole new world.
I think next weekend we should do like a mini book review on one of the
Yes,
books
that
we're
would be
reading.
actually would be very nice. So, but that is all the time we have for you today. From Diana Master and Glenora Shapura, it's all our love, all our light, and
adios.